Imagine uploading a single PDF and a character image, and boom, an entire series of AI animated reels hits your Instagram on autopilot. Today I'll show you how to build this automation, no coding skills required. Let's check out how the final result will look like.
Mate, this AI business, it's bloody mental, innit? It's not about good or bad, it's just this mad force we've unleashed. And if we're not careful, it's gonna flip the whole bloody world upside down before we even blink.
So we press test workflow. Now we have to upload the PDF file. In this case, this is going to be a short ebook that often influencers use. So we upload this one. Now we choose the character. In this case, it's going to be this guy that looks a bit like me. And then we have to specify the amount, the quantity of reels that we're gonna create. Let's press for submit. So here we have an empty Google Sheets. And now, once the generation is done, we will see the content here. So as you can see, there is a reel number, the status, hook, core message, and the character link. So we can do all kinds of manipulations here. So for instance, I actually say, let's say we don't need the core message here. We just leave it as a hook, and then we press to do. We change the status to do. Then it's going to take about 5 minutes, and after this 5 minutes done, we will have a ready reel published to our IG. Okay, so the automation processed our content and generated the reel. Here's how it looks like.
Discipline beats motivation. Here's how to make it automatic.
So as you can see, there is a full lip sync. So the guy talks and moves his hands, so it looks pretty much alive. And here's also the subtitles from the content. So yeah, so the hook was discipline beats motivation, how to make it automatic. So here is the hook that we had in the table. As you can see, discipline beats motivation. Here's how to make it automatic. And yeah, and the status changed to publish. The cool thing is that with this automation, you can basically animate any kind of character, even the viral babies podcast. Okay guys, so now when you saw what the system is capable of, let's see how it actually works. I don't remember if I said, but there are two automations, and first automation is it generates the content and posts it in the Google Sheets. So here's how it looks like. So we have a form submission here where we get the PDF file and the image of the character and also the quantity of reels. And then we extract the PDF of content from the PDF file, clean the data a bit, push it to the real content generator AI agent that gets this data, and it has a prompt to generate reels content, so this hooks and core messages. Then we extract the JSON data from here and put it to the merge block. Also at the top, we get the image from the form submission, generate an image for this link, extract this link from the data we receive from this node. Then we merge the extracted real content and image URL together and then post them to the Google Sheets. So as I showed before, this is how it looks like at the end. So the cool thing is that it's split into two automations, because what we want, I got some feedback from the community that people don't really want to post right away the AI generated content, because you never know what to expect. So here it's done that you have the hook, you have the core message, even the character link that you can check. And the cool thing is that nothing being published after the content is here. So you can do changes, you can rewrite the hook if you don't like it, you can rewrite the core message, or you can delete hook or delete core message. So you can do all kind of editing that you want, and it's set in the status draft. But once you change it to do, then the second automation triggers and starts the real generation. Let's see how the second automation looks like. So this is the publishing tool, and let me make it bigger. So we have a Google Sheet trigger here that checks if there is any rows updated in the Google Sheets, and when they are updated, it checks it every minute. It pushes it to this if to do exist node, so it checks if the status, if any of the row has the status changed to do, and if it is true. So we do one thing is that we update the publishing status. I will explain in a bit why we need it. So here's the publishing status. It can be either ready or being published. And at the same time we extract only the to-do row. So the thing is that when I'll also explain just in a sec. So we need this node, so we have only the row, the content of the row which has the status to do, so not all other rows, because this trigger, it returns all the rows basically. Then the image asset creation happens here. For animation we use Hedra, and with Hedra it's a bit of specific, let's say, content creation mechanics, not like with Runway. So we need to first create the image asset ID, then we need to get the image from the link here, then we upload this image as a binary file to Hedra. Also, and then we go forward to the audio asset. So the same thing, we create audio asset ID, we create the audio with 11 laps, so it receives the audio as a text and create a proper audio with the voice. You can select, they have a bunch of voices there, and uploads as an audio file, also like as a binary file, also to Hedra. So now we have the image uploaded and the audio uploaded. And here the generation process starts. So we generate a video, we wait 3 minutes just to be sure, so the video generation is complete. Then we get the video URL, and here's where all the rendering happens. So rendering we do with Animate. This is the software that creates the subtitles for the reel. And yeah, once the rendering is done, we upload it to Blotato. That's the service for posting the content autonomously to social media. We, in this case, post it to IG. And once that's done, we update the status here from to do to published. And then we finalize, wait 5 seconds, and finalize to update the second status from being published back to ready. Just so you know, guys, Animate and Blotato, they have relatively expensive subscriptions. I think Animate is something like $50 and Blotato is $20. So you have to use them properly, you have to throw $70 for these subscriptions. But the good news is that if you don't need subtitles, or if you don't want to automate the content publishing to IG or other social media, you don't need those. So you can easily use this automation to create the content from the PDF file and the character image that you supply via the form. And here at this point you will already have this character animated. So you will have content generated from PDF, which is going to be hook and core message. You will have an audio, proper voiceover, which is non-distinguishable from a real person speaking. Then you will have the video of the character who looks like the character speaks this audio that we generate, and also with the lip sync, so it looks pretty much realistic. And as I said before, you can generate anything with this automation. So you can generate these babies that I showed you. You can generate your own character like I did in the first demo, and basically anything. So just upload your PDF file, extract the data from there, create the content, edit this content in Google Sheets, and also upload your image of your character, and then you can have as a final result the animated character with the voiceover. So I would say pretty cool. I'm really happy about this automation. So as always, guys, these both automations, they will be available in my free Skool community, and you can just go there, download it, and I will put here an instruction how to set it up. So it's not ready yet, but when you watch this video, it will be there. And yes, and also I will throw a link to these Google Sheets, so you can just press File, make a copy, and make a copy to your Google Drive. So for this Google Sheets, you will have to have specific, let's say, you have specific format. So here is the data format, so it accepts only 3 values: draft, to do, and publish, and here only 2, ready and being published. And yes, so it will be available in my free Skool community. If you don't want to watch a step-by-step tutorial that I will just begin, You can download it, get it, set it up, and feel free to use it for your own needs, to sell it, to make your own tutorial, to sell it to business and for your own business, whatever. Feel free to use it. And this is it. So let's start. As always, we're going to build it step by step, absolutely from scratch. I will explain in all the details what each of the step does. And so step 1, let's create the content generator tool. Let's go. Okay, so step 1, let's create the content generator tool. So create a new workflow in your n8n instance, and before that, let's actually go to Google Sheets. So I will provide the link in my free Skool community to my Google Sheets I created here. You can just open the link, press file, and make a copy. So you need these fields named exactly the same way like here, otherwise we're gonna get an error. Also here, as you can see, we have specific data type. So it only accepts draft to do published, and here only ready and being published. So we will need those exactly like that. So to do that, just file, make a copy, and you should be good to go. Let me also clean all the data here so we can start from scratch. So you will have a Google Sheets file exactly like this. Let's go to automation, and first we start with the form submission. So here is the form. Okay, actions on new form event. Let's name it document upload form. Fantastic. Authentication none. Form title. Actually, let's also name it document upload form. Form description, I'm gonna copy this one. Please upload your PDF document, character, and set quantity of reels to prepare. Add form elements. So now we need to specify what kind of elements we're gonna accept through this form. So upload PDF, element type file, multiple files, don't need, just one PDF is enough, and .pdf. Great, and it should be required field. Add another form element. This is going to be our character. So your character. Element type again, file. Just one is enough, so we don't have unexpected results if you upload two different characters. They're going to be probably mixed up. And accepted files .jpg, .enj. Also required field. And the last one is going to be quantity of reels. Element type, yeah, let's just leave it as text, it's okay. And also for the placeholder, let's have it, how many reels do you want from this document? Also required field, otherwise we will leave the quantity of reels to our AI agent and we have unexpected results. So we might have a very, let's say, short document, but it will produce a lot of reels, so it's going to be bad quality reels, you know, some imaginary stuff from AI, or it might be a huge document and we create like too many of those. So just to be precise how, let's say, condensed the information we want to be from the PDF, we need this field. Fantastic. So this one is done. Now let's do the image. So we need HTTP request node, method post. So what you do, you go to imgbb.com service. It's a free hosting service for images. Great. You have to create an account here, and once it's done, just go here and press API. Here in API, you will see very short but useful, quite useful documentation. So here's our API key, here is the API endpoint, and here's the parameters key. So let's do this block. Let's post this great URL, copy this API endpoint, paste authentication, generic credential type, and query auth. So I already have actually even two here, but you won't have any, so press create new credential. Name should be key, all lowercase, and for value it will be your API key, which is here, so you just copy it, paste it here, name it imgbb API, and save. Fantastic. So now we will also need to send the body. Here we set up everything to be able to connect to our IMGBB account and send a post request there. However, in the body we need to specify what we actually send, and it's going to be form data, type content, and then n8n binary file, because we're gonna send the binary file, the actual image that was submitted in the form. Name, let's just leave it image, and input data field, let's leave it empty for now. And let's rename this node to generate image link, image URL, sorry. Fantastic. Okay, great. Now let's do the lower part to process our PDF. So first part is going to be the extract from PDF node, because we receive, it's going to be extract from file node, and here we choose extract from PDF. Because we're going to receive PDF as the binary file, we need to extract the actual data from there, and luckily there is a specific node for that in n8n. Okay, let's leave it as it is, and actually let's test these steps. Great, so let's first test the form. Upload PDF, we choose our PDF file. For me it's going to be the same ebook, the shift code, the ultimate life handbook, one of maybe books that the coaches on IG use. I generate this one with ChatGPT to have some sample content. So it's like, how many is it? 6 pages. Upload it. Then the character. There's gonna be this guy that looks like me. Bit different hair though. Okay. And quantity of reels, let's go to 5. Submit. Perfect, so form submitted, your response has been recorded. Nice, let's check so what we got here. So let's test now the image URL generation node. So as you can see, we got 2 files coming to this node, our PDF and our character. And here we left this field empty for exactly this purpose, to check the name of the file that we receive. So we named our input field your character, as you remember in the form submission. So, and it generated this name, your underscore character. So we copy exactly this name, paste it here, and we test the step. Great, so we got a bunch of data here that we're gonna process. So I will just explain, let's actually leave it for a bit and test the extract from file node. So here also, as you can see, the input binary field is data, its default name. We remove it, and the extract from file node also received 2 files from the form submission. It's upload PDF and your character. And we need to specify now that we're gonna use these files, so our PDF, and we put exactly this name. And we test the step, and we get it processed. So here how it looks like in the JSON. Also a bunch of data here, formatting, number of pages, all that, and the most important thing, we received the text of the PDF that we can work further. Okay, so now let's what we need to do now is that we need to create a code node that pushes forward in the automation only the JSON data. Because you see, we got in form submission PDF, which is a binary file, and then the image, which is also a binary file, and then the quantity of reels, which is the number. So number is going to be a JSON data. It should be shouldn't be a problem, but those 2 binary files, they can be a problem. So for these automations, they work, these workflows, they work this way, that this node receives the data, and all this data goes here and here, and doesn't matter how many nodes we create, all these further nodes will receive all the information accumulated throughout the automation. So what happens if we just add here AI agent node is that it receives the binary PDF file, which is not a big issue, but it also will receive an image binary file. And what's gonna happen, the agent gonna crash. So we need a node here that stops the image, so the image binary file is not pushed forward to the agent. This way our AI agent will work fine. Also, I forgot to tell you that it is super important to use relatively small character file for the form submission. So for instance, this guy I generated, this like character, 3D character that looks like me, I generated in ChatGPT, and the default size was, the original size was 2.2 megabytes, I think. So I believe it's just a bit too big for n8n, and somehow when I tested it, it always crashes my instance. However, once I compressed it, so now it's a bit less than 700 kilobytes, works perfectly fine. So remember to compress your image, otherwise you're going to crash your n8n instance. And now let's do the actual, let's actually pin the data. Okay, we can't pin it. Let's create the code node that will stop the binary image file. And we do it with this code. So all the codes, you can pause the screen and just type it from here, or take a screenshot and ask ChatGPT to type it for you. But all these codes will be, all the codes and prompts will be available in my free Skool community. So go there, there will be separate files, you can just copy without any hassle. And yeah, so you don't waste time on typing from the screen. Okay, so here is the most important line. It requires to pass only the JSON part and ignores the binary. Let's test the step. And we got only the JSON data. Fantastic, that's what we needed. So now we can safely create our AI agent node. Let's pin this data here. Let's create AI agent node. Define below, we need the prompt here. Here's how the prompt looks like. The prompt will be also available in my free Skool community. But otherwise, yeah, so you see we got this description: you're a content strategist and short form script writer. Your task is to create high impact Instagram reels. Fantastic. User input JSON text. This is the text we got from the extract from PDF file node. So here is this text. You can see it here. Fantastic. And number of reels reference node doesn't exist. Interesting. Did we create another name for quantity of reels? We can actually do it this way. You can just grab it and move it here. Bam. Fantastic. And also replace it here. Fantastic. Okay, so now we got the instructions, user input text, and number of reels, and then some instructions, and then the output format that we require. So this is going to be a reel number, hook, core message, and that's it. And that's how we're going to do it for every single reel. Let's also attach the chat model. We're going to use OpenAI. So if you don't have an account here, so you have to press create new credential. You have to go to platform.openai.com/playground, create an account there, and then you have to deposit some balance. I think the minimum was $5, but unfortunately you need that to use their model. It's not for free, obviously. So yeah, so once you did that, you have to go to dashboard, API keys, and then generate a new API key. Your API key will be generated, you copy this key and paste it here. And then you press save, and you should be good to go. I already have an account created, so yeah, it looks something like this. So yeah, you see connection tested successfully, which means that our n8n instance connected to OpenAI account. Fantastic. For model, let's use GPT 4.1. And let's test the step. Great, so that's what we got in our output. So as you can see, all according to our specifications, we got the reel number, we got hook, we got core message. However, there is another reel number 2, and then there is reel number 3, hook, core message, and then there is reel number 5, hook, core message, and somewhere reel number 4. So now we got a problem. We perfectly extracted the data from the PDF file. and output it in JSON. But the problem is that we can't use this data to very easily to publish to Google Sheets. So we need somehow to split these reels into array of items. So we got 5 reels basically. You see reel number 5 is the last one, but we got just this one piece of code. So what we need is actual array of items where there is one item is reel number, hook, core message, then there is reel number 2, hook, core message, and so on. So 5 items in total. And for that, we will need another code node. Let's move all the guys here. Create a code node, and we do it with this code. So what does it essentially do? It basically goes through this output JSON and assigns, creates an array of items, and in these items there is the real number, hook, and core message, and according to found information here, it assigns to these values. Let's test the step, and perfect. So now we got an array. You see 5 items, real number 1, hook, core message, real number 2, hook, core message, and so on. Let's also rename this node so it looks all nice and clean, not like code 1. It's going to be extract JSON data, rename, and let's pin this data for now. Let's also rename this node. Let's call it clean data. Fantastic. So I think we're pretty much done with the PDF extraction. Let's finish the image URL generation. So let's run this node once again. We got this output. We got this bunch of data in the output. So what happens now? So we have only one image URL, but 5 array items in the 5 array items here. So we need to merge this, but we don't need all this data. So it's the best if we just extract only image URL, because we need only the URL here. We extract it with the code node, and then we can merge it all together, and it will be prepared for Google Sheets. Let's do that. So another code node. Let's name it extract image URL. And let's put this code here. Great, so we grab only the first URL, test the step, and as an output we got image URL. Fantastic. So what we can do now is merge these values, so each of these array items will get one of the copy of the image URL. Merge, combine all possible combinations. Let's make it nice and clean. Input 2, input 1, and let's test the step and see what we get. Great, so now we get again 5 items. Each of them has image URL, real number, hook, core message, image URL. Great, guys. So now the data is fully ready to be published to Google Sheets. Let's create Google Sheets node. We're gonna do append row in Sheets. So here you will also have to create your credentials. You do it through the OAuth. Basically just sign in with your Google account, you give access to your Google account, and it should be super easy to do. Once you have it, you will be able to choose your documents. PDF to Reels, that's the name of my document. Sheet number 1, and map each column manually. So we got reel, status, publishing status, hook, core message, character link. Reel, status, publishing status, hook, core message, character link. And now we have this data prepared from the merge node. So image URL goes here, real number goes here, hook goes here, and core message goes here. So for status and publishing status, we're going to use the default values. They don't need to be dynamic. So for status, let's put draft as an initial value, and publishing status, let's put ready. If you copied my document, they also should be named exactly this way. Test the step. And let's see if we get data here. And we get all the data. So now we can do all kinds of changes we want, because the automation not gonna go further without us changing the status. And yeah, so you have the link here, you have the core message, you have hook, you can do all changes. And once you are done with these changes, you have to change the status from draft to do, and it will start second automation that we will build in the next step. Okay guys, so let's continue. So we created a content generator tool. Now we need a new automation to check if the content was updated, specifically if the status was changed from draft to do, and if it is, then we proceed with the second automation to grab this content and generate a video. So we did some modifications here. Let's say, okay, just one. The core message is a bit too long. Let's keep it as it is. Okay, great. We did some changes. We changed the status to do. So now create a new automation, and we need a trigger that listens to the changes we did in Google Sheets. So this is going to be a Google Sheets trigger. Editor updated, same account. So this table, sheet 1. Okay, you want to keep it here as it is. New version, row editor updated. And fetch test event. So for output we got 5 items, and the first reel got status to do and publishing status ready. Fantastic. So now first let's update. Let's check if the actual row with the status to do exists, because this trigger just grabs all the items, as you can see from the table. So we do it with the if node. We check if status equals to do. And second condition, if publishing status is ready. Let's rename it to do exists. Okay, so with this if condition, we check if there is a row that is ready to be published but is not publishing yet. This status shows that this is ready to ready to be published, to be processed, but this status shows that it's not processing yet. So when status is ready, it's not processing it. When status changes to being published, it means it is processing. Why do we need that? I will explain in a moment. So okay, so if true, then first of all we update the value, the first status again. So update row in a sheet. Okay, same document, sheet 1. We check it on the status. Let's actually execute this one. Okay, so we got 1 item. Great. So now we need to check if the status equals to do. Not if, but where the status equals to do. And we change the publishing status from ready to being published. Test step. Let's see. Okay, so now we got 1 status to do, second status being published. Now it means that not only we are ready with publishing, but it is being processed by the second automation, this specific row. Fantastic. So false here, we do nothing. And second row, second node that comes from the true is we need the code that isolates this specific row. I will explain later why do we need this code. So this is the code we're gonna paste. So you don't need to type it from the screen. You can just go to my free Skool community, and there will be a separate file with all the codes and prompts, and you can just copy it from there. Extract to do. extract to do raw. Great. Let's test the step. And as an output, we get empty. Let's check if it's correct. Oh yeah, we linked it wrong, okay. So it comes here, okay, great, let's retest the step. Yes, nice, so your future changes with what you do every day, let's check it. Your future changes with what you do every day, great. So we got the correct row, and now it's only one item, only this one specific row. Fantastic. So now what we can do is we can start processing the information for the Hedra. So Hedra works this way that you first have to create an asset ID, then you have to upload the image to this asset ID and also create an asset ID for audio, upload the audio file to this asset ID, and then once they have all this data on their servers, you can actually do the video generation. It's a bit more complicated than with Runway, but it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. So okay, so now let's first do actually the audio. It's going to be a bit more tricky, so we need HTTP request node, method post, and okay. So so what you need to do now is that you go to hedra.com, you create an account there, you have to create a subscription which costs I think $10, and you will have 1,000 credits for the image generation. Once you've done that, you will see this portal. You go to settings here, API, and here you will get your API key. Also for the documentation, you have to go to api.hedra.com/webapp/redoc. They have quite poor documentation, I have to say, but again, there is nothing much we can do about it. So if you really want to learn how their API works, you can go here and then download this API, Open API specification, upload it to a separate chat in ChatGPT, and then ask all the questions that you have. So we're not going to cover that much their endpoints here, I'm going to show you in the tutorial how it works, but we're not going to go very deep into the details because otherwise the tutorial is going to be like 2 hours long. So, okay, so let's rename this node to create image asset ID. For the endpoint, we're going to use this link. So API hedra.com web app public assets, authentication, generic type, header auth, create new credential. In the name you paste this X API key, and for the value you go back to Hedra and then copy this key, paste it here, press save, and you should be good to go. All right. Then we do need to send body. It's going to be JSON using fields below, name image, type image, and test step. Okay, sorry, wrong credentials. Let's test step again. Oh yeah, sorry guys, I forgot to mention to know the type here also. So name image, it should be actually, it's wrong. So name of the first parameter is name, value is image, here name is type, and the value again image. Test the step again. And as an output we got the image asset ID. Fantastic. Let's put it here. So now we need to get our image, because our image is right now stored in this Google Sheets as a link. Since it's 2 separate automations, the first automation had the binary file, the actual image, it created the link, and that's it. So since it's a separate automation, we don't have access to this binary file from the first automation. So now we need to get the link from the Google Sheets, download this binary file to our workflow here, and once it's here, we can upload it to Hedra. So let's do that. We need another HTTP request node. method post, method get, sorry guys. And from here from the extract to do, we grab the character link as a URL, and let's rename it get image. That's the step. Let's view it. We get the image. Fantastic. And the last step is to upload this image to their servers. So we need another HTTP request node. Let's rename it to upload image. Method post. So for this endpoint, for this URL, we're going to use this endpoint, and we put here the JSON ID. That's the ID, as you can see, that we just generated with the get image node. So this is the exact ID. And then we also need to, so this way we assign to this specific ID our binary file image. So we need send body, and here we have to specify what exactly are we sending. So it's going to be form data, n8n binary file, name file, and yes, so get the image. So yes, it should be data. We can check it here. The file name is data. That's the step. Okay, I forgot the credentials, generate credential type, header auth, and Hedra. That's the step. Great, so now we uploaded, so now we created an asset ID, we downloaded the image, we uploaded this image with the specific asset ID to Hedra servers. And now we need to do the same with the audio. So actually with the audio we can just copy this node, since it's not going to be very different. Just going to do some small changes here, so let's rename it to create audio asset ID. Going to be the same endpoint URL, same credentials, but here in the name we change it to audio, and the type we change it also to audio. And we're going to connect these two. Great, so now let's test this step, and we get audio asset ID. So now we had the image in the link that we got from the form in the first automation. Here we're going to do a bit different. We're going to create the audio with 11 labs. So to do that, let's create HTTP request node, method post. So now you guys have to go to 11labs.io, create an account here. Once you have created an account, you have to subscribe for their smallest plan is actually enough. So it's only $5 per month, not that much. So just subscribe here. You should be good to go. So once you have it, you can go to API keys and create your API key here. Also, they have quite good documentation. So you just go to docs and resources, documentation, and here they will have all the documentation that you need. So we need text to speech, create speech, and here we can see the endpoint that they use. They have quite smart implementation with the create speech endpoint, so it's always api.11labs.io v1 text to speech, and then the voice ID. So to get the voice ID, you have to go to 11labs.io/app/voices library collections. Here in the voices, you can go from you can also get here from the dashboard by pressing voices. There is the catalog of voices that you can choose. So just check out what they got. For instance, let's see this David guy.
The winds of the lands between whisper of your deep.
Okay, solid works for us. Let's view it. And here we have the ID of this specific voice. And this ID we're going to use at the end of this endpoint. So we get the voice ID here, we copy it, we add it at the end of this link, and this is going to be the endpoint for our HTTP request node. So let's go here, method post. Let's copy and paste the endpoint. So as you can see, API 11 Labs IO V1 text to speech, and here is the ID of the voice. I'm going to use a bit different voice that I used in the demo, but you can just choose any voice you like from the catalog, get the voice ID and paste it here, and you're going to have access to this specific voice. So now let's create authentication. So it's going to be header auth again. Create new credential. So name here X API key. And in the value, you just go back to the dashboard. As I said here, press OK, my account, key, and generate a key. And you will have a key. You copy it, you paste it here, and you should be good to go. I already created it, so I'm not going to create it second time. And also, important thing, if you use self-hosted n8n instance, you might face some issues with their authentication because they use Cloudflare as a DDoS protection service, and they have, I think, quite strict settings because I usually use self-hosted n8n instance, which is hosted on ls.io, and it seems like it's this instance uses some shared IP, as all of the as it always works with this kind of shared hosting, and it seems like that this IP was flagged, so I couldn't connect to 11 Labs with my API key. I had issues that I couldn't resolve. So, but once I moved to n8n.cloud, their IP is solid, so worked like a dream from the first attempt. So keep that in mind if you use self-hosted n8n instance. And for body, we're gonna use JSON, using JSON. And so what happens here, I paste this code. So what does this code do? So we need a text that we will translate to the voice. You can get this text from here. So it's hook. It should be from extract to do raw, because this is the exact raw that has the to do status, so it's being published. So hook, space, and then core message. Your future changes is what you do every day. Lasting change isn't about willpower, it's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail. Let's check it. And yes, we got it correct, we nailed it. Fantastic. And also for their model ID, this is the latest model we use. So we just need a text prompt and the model. And let's also rename this step to create audio. And let's test it. Okay, so we can view the file. Let's view it.
Your future changes with what you do every day. Lasting change isn't about willpower. It's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail.
Crazy. Just crazy that it sounds like a real person. It's AI, guys. What is happening? Okay, so now we have to upload, as we did before with image, we have to upload it to also a Hedra service, so to their servers, yeah. So we can copy this upload image node. It's going to be pretty much same, just do some small changes. So let's rename it to upload audio. And just, so yeah, so we have exactly the same URL. Once we connect it, it's going to turn green, so it will get the ID of the audio asset we created. Header auth Hedra. But here we change, actually no, we don't change anything, we just leave it as it is, connect it to the create audio node, and let's test this step. So fantastic, we created asset ID for image, got the image, uploaded the image, create asset ID for audio, generated audio with the 11 Labs, and now uploaded also audio to Hedra servers. So we are good to go to proceed forward and to actually generate a video now. So let's create another HTTP request node. Let's call it generate video. So for method, we're going to use post. And for the API endpoint, we're going to use this specific api.hedra.com/ web app public generations, authentication, generic credential type, Hedra auth, and Hedra. So now we need to send, so now we can connect, now we need to send the data to Hedra to show exactly what we want to generate. So we change it to using JSON, and here we're gonna paste this code. Let's check out what is happening here. So type video mandatory, AI model ID. This is their latest model. You can get this value from their documentation. So you can see in the samples they use always so AI model ID. So this is exactly this one. I think it's the only model they have available right now. So you can just copy it from here, from the example, and use it here. Then we need start keyframe ID, and keyframe ID we get from the upload image. So this upload image node that uploaded the image to Hedra's servers. We just mentioned the ID, and it already knows, because it's already on their servers, that we need to use this video. And for the audio, we do pretty much the same, but we grab the value from the upload audio. So this ID here, you can see 66F, yes, that's the one. And then we need to specify here some information to generate the video inputs. Now we need to get the text prompt. So remember, I said that we need to extract specific to-do row that has this to-do status. So why we need to isolate it? Because you see, here in Google Sheets trigger, we would just have this specific. We would have 5 items. So we just, if we use text prompt from here, so again it's just hook, this one, and core message, this one. So if you would drag them from Google Sheets trigger, since it returns 5 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the AI wouldn't know which one to use, and it would just use the first one. So if you would, for instance, start, let's say, processing this like real number 4, it would still grab the hook and core message from the first row, not from this one. So, but since we isolated this specific row with our extract to-do row with a bit of code, then we get exactly the one that we need. So if you change this, what you do every day, lasting change isn't about willpower, it's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail. Also, we need to set the resolution and aspect ratio. Since it goes to IG, it's going to be 9:16. And we can test the step. Great. So we got some info here. We got ID and asset ID of the ready-made material. Fantastic. So what we would need to do now is just, still the generation of this kind of short videos is super fast, but just to be on the safe side, let's add the wait node and set it to 3 minutes. So this way we know for sure, because the AI will have 3 minutes to generate a video, and we can move forward with automation. So 3 minutes should be definitely enough. Let's rename it to wait 3 min. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna change it for a second, guys, so we don't, I'm talking here, so it already takes some time, so probably the video is generated, so I don't wait 3 minutes, for this node to be generated, to be tested. But for your own build, just set it to 3 minutes. So this value should be 3, and here not seconds, but minutes. Okay, so now hopefully the video is generated. Well, it should be generated because we have specifically for this purpose this wait node. So now let's grab the URL of the generated video. We do it with another HTTP request node. So method get, and then for the link, we're just gonna use this API endpoint. So it's going to be api.hedra.com web app public generations, and we got this ID, we got it from here, just to guys show you. So it comes from this wait node, and yes, should be here. So this is, and yeah, also don't forget the authentication, so generic type, header auth, and Hedra. Okay, let's test this step, see what we get. Okay, so we got a link. That's a big one. Okay, great. Let's copy this link and see the final result. Save. Okay. And this is what we have.
Your future changes with what you do every day. Lasting change isn't about willpower. It's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail.
Well, that's just, I don't know if you guys impressed, but no matter how much you use these tools, they never stop to impress me. Just amazing what we just created in like 40 minutes. You can build this kind of stuff. Unbelievable, just unbelievable. So yeah, so now the video is ready. What we can do is we can download this video very easily. Just you have the link, so just copy the link and it's downloaded. So that was it for the video generation. So that was it for the step 2. And next step, if you want to learn how to upload it to your IG and make it also automatic, also add some subtitles, let's go for step 3, generate subtitles and upload it to IG. Okay guys, so now we have the content generated from the PDF, uploaded to Google Sheets. We have created audio, we uploaded all the assets to Hedra, and we generated the video as a final result. So what we can do now is to generate subtitles for this video and to upload it through Blatato to IG autonomously. So to do that, first let's start with create animate. Actually, first let's rename. Okay, let's rename this node. Get Hedra link, Hedra URL first. So we have it nice and pretty. Okay, so another HTTP request node. Okay, so for this node we will need to use Animate. This is the software that will generate subtitles for us and prepare the video for posting on IG. So to get your subscription, you just go to createanimate.com, you press get started. Once you are there, you will see this dashboard. So from here, you go to templates, you press create new template. It can be anything, social media, let's say the storytelling video, and create template. And when you press on this icon, you will see the code for this specific template. So all the changes we do here, they are generated in the code here. So the code for my template, so you can have exactly the same result, will be also published in my free school community. So you can just go there, copy the code, paste it here, and you will have exactly the template I use, which is this one. So one tricky thing is that for the subtitles, you can choose subtitles and double check that they have transcription on, which means they will be generated automatically, and source, it should be video. So sometimes it leaves it empty when you create a new template and the subtitles might not generate. So be careful when you have source video here. Okay, so let's go back to n8n and continue with our build. So method post. So for API endpoint, we're going to use this URL. So it's api.createanimate.com v1 renders, authentication, generic credential type, header auth. You press create new credential. So for the name, it will be authorization. You should type it exactly like this. And for value, I'm going to put the expression so you guys can see, it's better than space, and then you need your API key. So where do you get your API key? You go back to Createanimate, back to your account, you press on this icon, project settings, and here you will see your API key. So you press click to reveal, it will be revealed, you copy it, go back to n8n, and then after this better and space, you add your API key, press save, and you should be good to go. Okay, so yes, then we need to send some information. So we need to send what kind of information we will be generating in Createanimate, and for that we're going to use JSON. This is the code that we're going to use. So, okay, so it has just two parameters. It's template ID and video source. I mean, since it's a very simple reel, just video and subtitles that are generated in Creatimate, we don't need anything else. So where do you get your template ID? Well, the easiest way, if you go back to Creatimate and then choose the template you just created, and then you can get it, it's the last part in the URL. So for instance, for me, URL is creative.com, creatimate.com, project slash some combination here, slash templates, and after this templates there is slash, and then there is this last part, which is going to be the template ID for this template. So you copy this template ID, you paste it here, you should be good to go. And for video source, I can do it again just so you guys can see. So this is the last node that generated for us the Hedra URL, and here's the ID we need. Bam, great. So okay, sorry, my bad. So we don't need the ID here. We need the URL. We need the source for the video. So yes, we grab this one, JSON URL. Perfect. So this is what we'll send to Creatimate. It's the template ID and the video source, which is going to be the link to Hedra services for our video. So let's rename this node to render video. Let's test the step, and fantastic, we got no errors and the status is planned. So usually this rendering with Creatimate, it takes a bit of time. Just to be on the safe side, let's wait 2 minutes. I mean, we can obviously create a polling mechanism here to wait a bit, check the status, and then wait again. But we're not gonna do it in this tutorial because we don't want to overcomplicate tutorial. It's already, I think, complex enough. So here you can just set, let's say, 2 minutes, bam, and let's rename it to wait 2 minutes. And then we test this step. Okay, so the node finished, great. And yes, now we can actually check the URL to see the result before moving forward. So copy this URL and let's see if it went successfully.
Your future changes with what you do every day. Lasting change isn't about willpower. It's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail.
Great, so now we also got the subtitles. Now it's a proper viral content that you can use. Yeah, well, you can use it for many purposes. Okay, fantastic. And now we have this video with the subtitles. So if you want to automate also the publishing to IG, we can do it with Blatato. So another HTTP request node. And now you have to go to blatato.com. You press login here, you create an account. Once you're there, you will see a dashboard, but what we're interested in is settings. So you go to settings, and in the settings we need to connect one of the platforms where you want your content to be posted. So I connected IG. Here you can see my connected account. Also, you will need a paid subscription, which is, I think, $50. So this is the most expensive part of the tutorial, because without paid subscription you won't have access to API. So your API here, you can copy API key, and now let's set up the credentials for Blatato. So let's create generic credential type, header auth. Let's create new credential, and for the name it is going to be this Blatato API key. And here you paste your API key. Once it's done, you press save and you should be good to go. Okay, so now we need to change the method to post. And for the API endpoint, we're gonna use this one. backend.blatato.com/v2/media. And then we also need to specify in the body what kind of content are we sending, which is going to be JSON, and using fields below, URL, and then we need this URL from Creatimate. So we drag it here, Fantastic. Let's also rename this node to upload to Blatato. Test step. And success. It is uploaded to Blatato now. So now the content is on their servers. So now we can post it to Instagram. To do that, let's create another HTTP request node. Let's rename it to post on IG. Method post, not patch, post. For URL endpoint, we're going to use this one, Blatato backend.blatato.com v2 posts, authentication, generic credential type, header auth, and Blatato. And for send body, we're going to use JSON, using JSON. And here we're going to use this code. Let's change it to expression and let me open it. So we specify this is going to be a post. This is going to be the account ID. In a second, I will show you where to get it. And then we specify what kind of content. So text, this is the caption under the post. We're going to leave it empty. Media URLs, you just get this URL that we have from Blatato. So this one. Boom, ready. Platform Instagram, target type Instagram. So where do we get account ID? You go back to Blatato, and in the settings, you will see when you connect your account, you see here your account, you press copy account ID. So account ID copied, you paste it here. Fantastic. Now we are ready to post it on IG. Test step. Post submission ID. Okay, so we got no errors. Seems like it should be posted very soon. Okay guys, so while we wait for the post to be posted on IG, usually it takes a few moments, like a couple of minutes, we can update the status, because right now, as you can see, so we have status to do and status being published. So we want this to be also finished. So we get another Google Sheets node. Update row in a sheet. Okay, same account, PDF to Reels, sheet 1. And then we need to select where publishing status is equal to being published. And the status that we need right now is published. So let's change the status to published. Published. Test step. Okay, let's test it again. I think it didn't change because I was editing the cell. So you see the status is published now. Fantastic. Let's change it to update status. And then let's update also the status back to default from being published to ready. So I suggest you also put here a wait node, just 5 seconds, because I don't know, I try to put like one node after another, but then it doesn't always update the second status, because I think there is the nodes, they work faster than their values getting updated in Google Sheets. So let's wait 5 seconds. And then add another node to update the last field. Update row in the sheet, okay. Yes, okay. And okay, we again select, now we select status, published, and publishing status, ready. Test step. Let's rename it to finalize. Let's check it out. Fantastic. So we got all the info, updated all the statuses. Now this status is ready. Let's check out how the result will look like in Instagram.
Your future changes with what you do every day. Lasting change isn't about willpower. It's about building small daily habits that are too easy to fail.
Okay guys, so if you followed all the way until this point, congratulations, you did a great job and you learned a lot. So you learned how to process a big PDF file and generate a content for the reels from this file. Also, you learned how to generate a voice for your character, how to animate this character with this specific voice and make a lip sync. Also with the content that you generated from the PDF, and how to also post it autonomously on IG. So you learned a lot. As you can see, this is a quite powerful system. You can play around, generate different characters, different type of content. Super versatile. So just one thing is that when you finish the build, don't forget to save it and activate it, because this way it will listen to any updates from the Google Sheets and launch the trigger, so trigger the automation. So if you like my content, hit like and subscribe, and also join my free Skool community. I will upload more interesting builds very soon. Next week is coming, next build. So yeah guys, thanks a lot and see you.